Hello YouTube, it is Hannah from Smaugish, and this evening I'm going to do the music tag. I meant to do some tags like before, just because I think they're really good ways to get to know people and everything like that. Also, confirmation, I definitely just put makeup on to do this video, because it is a Thursday and I am really tired. And I've been at work all day and I did not wear any makeup for work, let alone awesome makeup. So, I've just had a shower as well and my hair doesn't know what it wants to do. I will continually be looking down here because I have the questions for the music tag on my laptop down here. So the first question is, which bands or artists do you own the most albums by? And I think the answer is either Cradle of Filth, because, well, I think it's pretty much Cradle of Filth because I own everything that they released. I own, well, everything that I've been able to find by them. But also, because I can't remember how many each of these bands have, I also own everything by AFI, because AFI have been one of my favourite bands since I was very young, like 12 or 13, so I own every single thing, including the EPs, by AFI. Or I did. I had a very abusive boyfriend when I was 16 that made me get rid of all my AFI albums, and I sort of managed to keep some of them, but yeah, so it's either Cradle of Filth or AFI. The second question is, what was the last song you listened to? And I think actually, if we think about a whole song, it would have been whatever I was listening to in the car. I'm trying to remember which track it was. Temple of Love by the Sisters of Mercy, because I got first and last. Oh no, A Slight Case of Overbombing is in my car at the moment. So yeah, the last song I listened to was Temple of Love by the Sisters of Mercy. The next question is, what's in your CD player right now? So in my car, it's A Slight Case of Overbombing, which is the sort of one of the collection's greatest hits sort of things, compilations, by the Sisters of Mercy. My laptop CD drive is Deep Calleth Upon Deep by Satyricon, which is the new album by Satyricon, and it's really good. Question 4 is, what was the last show you attended? That would have been Bloodstock. I went to Bloodstock Festival in August. I haven't been to like an actual specifically gig show for a while. I was supposed to go and see Devilment in December of last year, but I was really ill, so I couldn't go and see them. So yeah, the last show I went to was Bloodstock. Saw various bands. The last band I saw would have been Winter Sun. I think they were on the last night. And they were pretty good. Question 5 is, what was the greatest show you've ever been to? That's really difficult because I've seen, I have like a top few. Ghost. I saw Ghost at Bloodstock this year. That is one of the greatest things I have ever seen in my entire life. Alice Cooper, one of the greatest things I have ever seen in my life. King Diamond was pretty good as well. When I went to see AFI when I was 16, that is one of the defining moments of my life as well. I saw him, their very sort of seminal Halloween performance in 2004, that was pretty good. And Teresa's, I was front row for Teresa's, my first ever Bloodstock, and that was just one of the best performances ever. So those are probably my top 5. I would struggle to decide between them which was the best one, but at the moment, just because I'm such a fangirl of theirs at the moment, I would say that the best show I've ever been to would be Ghost. But really, that is the top 5. Ghost, Alice Cooper, AFI, him, and Teresa's. What was the worst show you've ever been to? An actual show. Now, I have seen them a few times. I think I've seen them 5 times, or I'm going to be seeing them 5 times. But the second time I ever saw Cradle of Filth live, I love Cradle of Filth, I'm a big Cradle of Filth fan, but the second time I saw them live, they weren't good. They've been on form every other time since, but there was something about, I don't know whether it was the company, because I was with the abusive ex that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, so I was with him, so that made it feel a bit weird. And there was just something about the atmosphere of the gig, so the audience wasn't particularly good. They weren't particularly positive. And just, they didn't play very well. Cradle didn't play very well. They were either drunk or under the influence of something, so they didn't play very well. They were sloppy, they were boring. Their support, Sabat, was brilliant. They were fun. But then the Death Stars I was really disappointed by. And yeah, so that's probably the worst show I've ever been to. Question 7 is, what is the most musically involved you've ever been? I was in a band when I was a teenager. We never really got much further than rehearsals, but I played bass guitar and did sort of backing vocals. I performed in my brother's old band. My brother used to be in a band called Power Cake. They were actually really good. And I performed keyboards for them. They played at the first ever Northern Symphony Festival. That's not when I played for them. And before that they had a gig in Yorkshire, and I played keyboards for that gig for them then. I'm a cellist and I'm a singer, so I play cello a lot in my village, and I sometimes play bass guitar in the village, and I've sung in the village a few times, so like at Christmas and other events and things. So I'm pretty musically involved, but I could be a lot more. And actually I'm hoping to do a sort of musical series on YouTube where I sing things because I like singing, so stay tuned for that. Question 8 is, what show are you most looking forward to? I have a few coming up. I am going to see Hymn's last ever but one, because they added an extra date because it sold out so quickly, but I'm seeing Hymn's last ever UK gig because they are splitting up soon, and I know lots of people don't like Hymn and they're not particularly goth and they're not metal or whatever, but since I've been a teenager I love Hymn. Hymn is like my family's favourite band. My parents love them, my brother loves them. I've seen them 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the 5th time that I've gone to see them. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that because it's going to be bittersweet. I'm also going to see Cradle of Filth again in November with my brother, my baby brother. We're having sort of like a lads' night out and we're going to see Cradle of Filth. That'll be really good. And I'm probably not going to get tickets now, they're probably all gone, but I might be going with my friend to see Marilyn Manson. I've never seen Marilyn Manson before, and he's playing at Wembley, if he's not dead. So yeah, I might be going to see that, but yeah, definitely Hymn and Cradle of Filth, very looking forward to. I mean, they're the only shows I've got coming up, apart from Bloodstock next year. Might be going to see Evil Scarecrow just before Halloween, like 2 days before Halloween. I might be going to see Evil Scarecrow, and they are always amazing live, so that will be quite good. Question 9, what is your favourite band shirt? I'm trying to find it. Should have got it out first, shouldn't I? But I didn't read the questions. Okay, I can't find my actual favourite band shirt. This is ridiculous. I literally wear it, put it in the wash, wear it, put it in the wash. Anyway, I can't find it. But this is still by the same band, and this is my second favourite band t-shirt, and to be honest, it's probably not any surprise if you know me, and if you know me at all, especially recently, because they're my favourite band. I am obsessed with them. And it's Ghost. My favourite t-shirt is black and white, and it has just Papa on the front, and I love it because it's black and white. I really like the colour scheme, and I like how it looks because it's quite simple. But this one is special because it's like Papa all done up like the Phantom of the Opera, like the old Universal Studios Phantom of the Opera, which again, if you know me, you know I love the Universal monsters. But also it's special because it's from their Popestar tour, so it's when I saw them at Bloodstock, it's the t-shirt I got for that. So yeah, and I love it. And you know what, for posterity's sake, this is so that's my second favourite band shirt. This is my third favourite band shirt, which is another Ghost shirt. But my first favourite band shirt I cannot find. Question 10 is, what musician would you like to hang out with for a day? I don't actually know. I think a lot of the bands that I listen to, they'd be really fun to hang out with. I think Amon Amarth would be amazing. I think Cradle of Filth would be interesting. I don't think Danny Filth's a particularly pleasant person, unless you're like part of his inner circle, but that could be quite fun. Dimmu Borgir could be fun. I've spoken to some of the guys from Hell for a little bit, and they sound like they'd be really fun to hang out with. Evil Scarecrow would be amazing to hang out with. They would be hilarious. Yeah, yeah, probably I'd like to hang out with Evil Scarecrow for a day, because that would be a really fun day. Question 11. Who is one musician or group you wish would make a comeback? That's a really tough question, because I don't know, some of the people that I listen to and I'm like, oh, it'd be really good if they were around again, they're unfortunately dead, so that's not gonna happen. I would really like Reverend Bizarre to come back again, because I like doom metal, and they only released a couple of albums a long time ago. So I'd love them to do another one. Same with Cathedral. No one really does that like groovy doom metal thing anymore. And Reverend Bizarre and Cathedral both did that really well, like that almost proggy, doomy, groovy sort of thing. So those two bands probably, at the moment, off the top of my head, are the only ones that I could think of really that I'd like to come back. Them and the Spice Girls. Yeah. Question 12. One artist you've never seen live but you'd like to. Iron Maiden. I spent a long time really resisting Iron Maiden and pretending that I didn't like them, but I actually do like them, and I would love to see them live. Even though I know that they're not as good anymore, they're still going to be amazing because it's Iron Maiden. Same with Marilyn Manson. Like I said, I might be going to see him later this year, but again, I've heard he's not as good as he used to be, but it's still Marilyn Manson, and it's still something I'd like to experience. And the Sisters of Mercy. Now, they played in London in the beginning of September, but it was the same day as my brother's wedding, so I didn't get to see them, and I would love to see the Sisters of Mercy. I just would really love to see them. Question 13. Name 4 or more flawless albums. Oh, we could be here all night. This is going to be predictable. Ghost Meliora, Ghost Infestissumam, and Ghost Opus Eponymous. They're flawless. I can literally listen to them backwards and forwards, inside and out. Controversial choice, Satyricon, the eponymous album, Satyricon. I love it. There's just something about it that I think is flawless. I love every song. I can listen to it again and again and again. Flawless albums. Cradle of Filth, Hammer of the Witches. Cradle of Filth, Midian. Dimmy Borgir, Abrahadabra. Dimmy Borgir, Death Cult, Armageddon. Amon Amarth, Jomsviking. Amon Amarth, Twilight of the Thunder Gods. I will literally be here all day because I love albums. I love listening to them back and forth. But those are the ones that spring off the top of my head as being flawless. Oh! Marilyn Manson, Hollywood. And yeah, Marilyn Manson, Hollywood and the Shadow of the Valley of Death. That is a flawless album, and I will fight anyone to the death that disagrees with me with that, because that is amazing. Super quick edition. I'm going to be inserting this after everything else. Flawless album. I completely forgot about it, but it is incredible. Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. How could I forget it? The next question, how many concerts have you been to total? I'm going to just count Bloodstocks as one whole thing, because otherwise it would be silly. So I've been to 9 Bloodstocks. 10, so 19, 20, 21, 22. I'd say 25 to 30 concerts I've been to. Let's just leave it at that, because otherwise I'm going to have to try and think in my head of all the different ones I've been to. So let's just say 25 to 30. Not as many as I'd like to. 15, who have you seen most live? Cradle of Filth or him? Seen them both 5 times. Soon to be 6, or 4 times, soon to be 5. So yeah, definitely those 2 I've seen the most out of anyone. Question 16, what is your favourite movie soundtrack? That's a really difficult question. I love the Labyrinth soundtrack, obviously, and I love the Repo soundtrack because you can sing along to them. But I think The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser The Mummy film, has a really beautiful, beautiful soundtrack if you listen to it. The Zorro film, The Mask of Zorro, has a beautiful soundtrack. Star Wars, the soundtracks are phenomenal. Most of the Disney films, their soundtracks and scoring is just exquisitely beautiful. So that's a really tough question for me to answer. I don't think I have a favourite movie soundtrack. Oh, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, obviously, as well. Their soundtracks are flawless. 17, what was your last musical phase before you wised up? I didn't really have one. My musical tastes have kind of evolved as I've, like, moved forward. I guess for a time as a teenager, I got into, like, emo thing, and I liked some of the, like, screamo bands a little bit. But you know what? I still listen to them, and I don't really care, so I didn't really ever have a musical phase. I just kind of progressed and liked more and more and more, because I like most kinds of music. I don't think there's a kind of music that I wouldn't listen to. I might not listen to loads of it, but I probably would listen to pretty much everything. And question 18, what is your guilty pleasure that you most likely wouldn't admit to liking? I don't really hate to admit to liking anything, to be honest. If you know me, if you're one of my friends, you know I like Little Mix. You know I like Taylor Swift. I like Lady Gaga. I like, I don't know, Fifth Harmony. Like, I love Spice Girls, 80s, cheesy 80s and cheesy 90s music. Like, I'm all over that. I don't care. I admit it freely and readily. So I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. I just believe in pleasures that other people try to make me feel guilty for. And that's the music tag. I find tags quite fun to do, quite fun to film, and I hope you enjoyed watching this one. And please remember to like, give me a comment. It would be really nice to comment. And hello to anyone else who's been watching my videos, because I've had a few more views recently. I mean, we're only talking like 25 to 30 views per video, but that's still more than I normally get. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. I'm hoping to vlog at the weekend, but it's going to be a bit of a tricky weekend. So I'll see what I can do. Goodbye.